I want to pose a question. What if a world leader was killed, or God forbid, our Prime Minister in Australia died, and the government just kept posting videos of them? And what if those AI videos were so good that you just couldn't tell that they were fake? And what if the biggest scandal in that scenario is not exactly the deception, but there's actually no way to protect citizens like you and me against it? Well, it could already be happening. Senator Payman recently posted a video calling for AI regulation around deepfakes. She was shown as a giant crushing Australia's most well-known buildings, where she eventually interrupts the clip and starts discussing AI regulation. When politicians start talking about regulating AI, this is their framing. AI is being used to create fake content of politicians and public figures, and citizens need to be stopped from doing it. But when AI regulation is ever discussed in Australia, the politicians only talk about themselves and never about your rights. And AI propaganda is already happening here. We had an example of it back in 2024. Senator Pocock actually commissioned an AI deepfake where videos of both Albanese and Peter Dutton, they were announcing a full ban on gambling advertising. You know, in Australia, this is a massive deal because of our huge gambling problem. And the videos were reasonably realistic. Albanese was standing in a Parliament House courtyard speaking in his usual tone, and Dutton in a separate video was offering full coalition support. Neither of those things actually did happen though, because they were AI deepfakes. Pocock posted them to social media and immediately revealed that they were fake, a bit of a media stunt, pointing out that there were no laws against making videos in the way that he did, the AI deepfakes. And he was trying to sort of shock everyone before the next election to understand sort of what it meant in Australia. The political reaction to me is actually a telling piece of this story, because on top of Pocock's experiment, there are AI-generated images like this one of Albanese circulating online. And this is actually the kind of thing that peeves off and annoys our politicians. Of course, Albanese does hate being generated in bikini photos, so please, whatever you do, don't generate him in bikini photos, because that is just absolutely bad taste. Please excuse the interruption, but for every sub I get on this video, Rosie gets a pat, so you need to subscribe. Thank you. But on a serious note, the politicians' discussions don't seem to worry about what AI will do to you as a citizen. They don't want to be the subject of it themselves. So when Senator Payman calls for regulation, understand what's actually being protected here. It's not you, it's them. So while they're trying to be busy censoring obviously fake and funny videos and photos of themselves, nobody in Parliament is asking a far more dangerous question. What happens when it's not a citizen using AI to make fun of politicians, but the government using AI against its citizens? The entire regulatory debate in Australia and most of the Western world is focused on stopping individuals from misusing the technology, but not the politicians. There was a legal precedent worth knowing about here, and it was set up in the USA for decades. The United States had a law called the Smith-Mundt Act, and it made it illegal for the US government to run propaganda operations against their own citizens. The same messaging tactics they use on foreign populations, they were banned at home. And it's really simple as to why. The government who can manufacture consent through the media no longer needs to be honest with its people. But in 2012, the law was quietly gutted by Obama. And most people didn't notice, or they're still not aware that this was even in place. That decision looks very different now. In a world where AI can generate convincing videos of almost any person saying anything from any location and release it through government channels. Australia never had a Smith-Mundt equivalent and still doesn't. We have no discourse in Australia to make it illegal for our own government to use AI to deceive us. And Senator Payman wants to stop citizens from making deepfakes politicians. But I think the direction of this law is completely backwards. And right now, somewhere in the world, we may actually be watching what it looks like in practice. I've said it a million times, this is a tech channel, so I'm not here to talk about a war or anything like that. There are plenty of people online who can do it better than me, and really, I'm just not interested in doing it. But what I wanted to talk about was something happening on the edge of that war, and the information surrounding it. And I think it gives us a real-life, real-time demonstration of AI propaganda being used by a government right now and in the middle of an active conflict. Or we might not be. And the ambiguity of the uncertainty it's giving us from a citizen point of view is the entire point that I'm trying to push in this video. If we don't know that they're actually doing it, then we should be questioning the power that they have. So a quick 30 seconds to set the scene. Everyone knows who Benjamin Netanyahu is. He's the Prime Minister of Israel. He's been there for 30 years. And since February, they've obviously been in a new conflict this year in 2026. And he's sort of the face of that. Things started to get a little bit strange. During the conflict, Israeli authorities detained 2 Turkish journalists from CNN Turk, a reporter and a cameraman, and they were filming a live broadcast in Tel Aviv. They were stopped by Israeli police for allegedly filming near a security facility. Now, there were viral claims spreading online, later claimed to be debunked, that the journalists had been arrested for reporting on Netanyahu's location during an Iranian missile strike. Shortly after the report on the location, that site specifically was striked. Then there were claims that Netanyahu had been successfully killed or injured during that attack. Then people started trying to grab supporting evidence online, as we do. So let's look at some of that supporting evidence. Netanyahu's son is by any measure one of the most active people on the internet. He does like 30 or 40 Twitter posts or X posts or whatever you call them these days, and has over 113,000 lifetime posts. This is a guy who didn't miss a moment that he didn't want to comment on. But on the morning of March 9, when I was talking about those strikes, he made a last post and then absolutely nothing, silence, for exactly 7 days. No memes, no reposts, no commentary, nothing. People online immediately started noticing that 7 days is the exact duration of Shiva, a Jewish mourning tradition observed after the death of a close family member. Now, I'm not saying that it happened, and I genuinely don't know, but the observation was made, and it was online, it spread, that's what the video is about. I'm going through the timeline. And it provides a little bit of context to what we're talking about next. Let me show you some of these videos that started coming out from these people on the internet. They're posts from Benjamin Netanyahu's official channel, from government accounts. They're not like leaked footage or anonymous clips or anything like that. The Israeli government's own communications to the public, these were their channels. This is his March 13 address to the nation. Right here, what people are calling a 6th finger on his right hand. Low quality video compression does weird things to hands, so that could be a legitimate explanation, but it's also one of the most commonly cited AI video generation artifacts. Even the most advanced AI models are still struggling with consistent rendering of human hands. Then this second video from a few days later. If you watch his left hand, a ring appears, and then mid-gesture, it's gone. This could be, light, angle, compression, all possible explanations, I don't know. And this is the one that really sort of sparked things online and got really popularized. There was a coffee shop video posted to show the world that Netanyahu was alive through government channels. It was really, really unusual. And he was having a coffee in Jerusalem. But if you watch the cup, he lifts it, he appears to sip, he puts it down. The level of liquid in the cup doesn't really appear to change. Now, Euronews fact checkers looked at this video, verification experts looked at this video, and their conclusion were that the videos were real. Netanyahu is alive, his office confirmed it, and he has appeared in verified contexts. So I'm not here to tell you that he's dead or that there's some conspiracy video going around and that, we should scream to the hills and this video belongs in Rumble. What I want to talk about is something that matters a lot more than whether the videos are actually real or not. So if you set aside what is really true, I want you to think about what it would mean if they were fake. Imagine if the Prime Minister of Israel, a man who has been one of the most powerful figures in the Middle East since 1996, imagine he'd been killed or seriously injured in a strike. What would happen? The war would change. This is a massive geopolitical change in the whole world, right? Immediately, irreversibly. Because wars aren't just fought with weapons and guns and things, they're also fought with morale and propaganda. And the moment that the Israeli public would learn that their prime minister is gone, it is a psychological shift in the war. A government in that situation with access to modern AI video technology would have enormous incentive to hide it. And here's what's really, really terrifying about. They could if they wanted. A team, even a small team, well-resourced team with access to Netanyahu's existing footage, his voice, mannerisms, speech patterns, a press conference backdrop, you could pretty much produce convincing video and release it through official government channels. No press conference, no physical appearance, just a video, posted on an official account. Then it's picked up by the international media as a statement from the Prime Minister, and millions of people would see it before anyone had a chance to verify it. So we already live in a world now where hundreds of thousands of people look at the real Netanyahu and say, I don't believe this is him. Imagine the reverse. A fake Netanyahu released to a public that has been conditioned to accept the video as proof. Think about what that could be used to do. A fake announcement of a ceasefire, or a fake refusal of a ceasefire, a fake statement escalating military action or standing it down, a fake address to keep citizens calm while a government reorganizes itself after a leadership catastrophe, a takeover or something. This is not science fiction anymore. The technology literally exists and people in their basement are using it for a small amount of credits that they pay online and spend time prompting to do. The motivation in this context also exists. There are currently no laws anywhere in the world that would make this explicitly illegal. It is a new wave of propaganda tactics, and they are now available. No longer can we trust that they'll just, hijack the nightly news or newspapers. They can realistically fake anything just using prompts. What we're seeing right now, whatever is happening or not happening with the Netenyahu videos, it represents the absolute infancy of this technology. The AI models being used to generate video today are primitive compared to what will exist in 5 years, in 10 years. And governments don't have the budgets of that guy sitting in his basement, individual creators, small production companies. They have the resources of entire states, intelligence agencies, military communication departments, and media arms that have been producing propaganda for decades. Give those institutions access to technology that doubles in capability every 18 months and ask yourself what this looks like in 2030 or 2035. A world leader gives a press conference. Is it real? How do you know? An official government channel releases footage of a military event. Did it happen? How would you verify it? And who's going to hold the government accountable for releasing AI-generated propaganda when there is no law that says they cannot? Senator Payment is worried about citizens using AI to embarrass politicians. I'm worried about something completely different. The Netanyahu videos, whether they're real or they're fake, have already done their damage. They've shown the world that the public trust in official government video is now genuinely fragile. And Senator Payment is correctly identifying that we need laws here, but she's asking for them in the completely wrong direction. We don't need laws stopping citizens from making deepfakes of a male prime minister in a obviously fake bikini photo. We need laws stopping politicians and governments from making deepfakes of themselves and passing them off as real to their citizens. Just like it used to be illegal in America to run propaganda operations on your own people. That protection existed for a reason. And the Americans let it disappear, but we really, really need to understand how badly we might need it in the future. The technology is here, it has arrived. And the question is whether our laws will catch up before the government somewhere, or maybe one already has, decides to use it. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please sub. I'd really, really appreciate it. Like, comment, send it to your friends. Thank you very much.